Hello, I'm Rick Wegley and welcome to this edition of Ask NCM. This week I want to talk about some questions that come up when reviewing our NCM composite data when we're doing classes at the NCM Institute and looking over financial data. And what the students ask me is, what are the key things that you look at? What are the key metrics that you look at on our composite data and financial statements first when you're looking at fixed operations? Well, there's really key three metrics that I'm watching in fixed operations and have been for the last year and will continue to for the next several years. Those three metrics that we watch are our transactional counts on a year-over-year basis. Are we growing our customer base or are we losing customer retention? The second one I look at is the technician billable hours in a shop. Are we growing our shop? Are we producing more labor hours on a year-over-year basis? That would be a combination of customer pay, warranty, and internal or service contract, even quick service. And the third thing I'm going to look at is our transactional quality. And I'm not looking at so much at hours per repair order as I'm looking at overall dollars of sales and gross profit in today's market, the way that our work mix has started to shift. Okay, so a couple of things that I look at here, and the first one I want to address is going to be the metric, which is the transactional count. Okay, there's a lot of things that drive transactional count, and not all of them can be affected directly by the dealership. There's changes in market. We've had changes with manufacturers, with recalls. We've had, you all know the issues going on in the industry today with certain manufacturers that have impacted their ability to do business in the service department. But some of the key things that we do have control over in our fixed operations that can impact repair order count as a growing basis, first would be setting the first appointment for every new and used vehicle customer that buys a car through your dealership. People ask me all the time, what's the quickest way to grow your fixed operations? Well, the answer is simple. The quickest way to grow your fixed operations is through your variable department, your sales department. But if we're not getting that first appointment, we're not sure those customers are always going to come back for even that first service visit to the dealership. The second thing that can impact transactional count, in addition to the first appointment, would be to have the best practice process of having a next appointment process in place for each customer who comes into the service department on a regular basis. We'll ask our managers, it's like, do you know where your customers are and do you know when they're coming back? They can't always answer that question. We can't just hope they're going to call us. So if we proactively schedule a follow-up date for a next appointment visit or exactly schedule the next appointment visit for each of our service customers, we can rest assured they'll be coming back in. The third thing that I look at is follow-up on our no-show appointments. It's kind of interesting in conversations when we talk to our managers about how many times on a daily basis or what percentage of your appointments on a daily basis result in a no-show. Typical answer I'll get is anywhere from 5 to 15%. But if you're looking at, let's say, maybe 50 cars a day and we have a 10% no-show rate on that, that's 5 customers that we had scheduled that didn't show up for service that day. So I ask them, what is our follow-up process for that? And it may be, in many cases, it's a call by the BDC the next day, or we do a letter to follow up, or they send them a text or an email. The best practice guide for that would be to actually reach out to and contact that customer within an hour of the missed appointment. They may not call back to reschedule that appointment, and they may just say, hey, I missed that appointment. I'm not going to call. I'm just going to go to the quick lube place down the street and get my oil change on my car. So proactively reaching out to that customer within 1 hour of when they missed the appointment, and you do that in a very friendly way, just to say, hey, I'm sorry we missed you this morning on that. Would you like to go ahead and reschedule the appointment? Or maybe I can still get it in today if you could bring it down. Okay. The third thing that I like to look at on that, or another item that you can look at, is are we following up on declined or deferred services, services that we recommended during the customer visit that they declined to do that day or said they would do it maybe on the next visit. Are we proactively reaching out to them before their next visit to resolicit their business for those missed or declined or deferred services? And another one you can look at is the new owners clinics. We strongly recommend new owners clinics to get those customers who did buy cars back in for, if you will, a redelivery process. We can maybe familiarize them more with what our processes and operations are. It actually helps reduce the anxiety of the customer as well about what to expect when they come into a service department, which is a lot of reasons that customers go elsewhere for service. And last but not least is to really have an aggressive tire merchandising program. Tires are the #2 point of defection for customers. We've always said the oil change is the first point of defection. The tire customer is the second point of defection, because if you went out on the street today and asked 5 people, where's someplace I can buy tires today, the dealership's probably not even going to be on the top 5 list. So having an aggressive tire merchandising program to retain those customers, because once they've gone to the aftermarket for those types of services, we typically don't see them in many cases come back. Okay, I could go into a lot more detail on each of these specific things that will drive transactional count or impact transactional count in your dealership. But if you'd like to know more more about some of these topics, we have a full suite of training that we offer for parts, service, and collision centers at the NCM Institute. We'll get you through more of the how-tos rather than the what can be done. We'll teach you a little bit more how to implement some of these processes. I'm Rick Wegley, and thanks for joining me on this edition of Ask NCM. If you have a question you'd like to see us address on a future episode, please send us an email at askncm@ncmassociates.com.